Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I've been wanting to make this one for a while now, specifically talking about FSD in general and version 10.11.2, some of the things I've noticed with both of them, things that I haven't really seen talked about in general, and I wanted to bring all of that to your attention and see if anyone had any thoughts or feelings about it all. So I hope you enjoy the video and thanks for watching. Alright, so let's dive right into 10.11.2 specifics. The first one that I haven't really heard anyone talk about before is the change that I've noticed in speed bump logic. First of all, I haven't seen as many speed bumps in general being displayed, as well as I'm seeing the car miss speed bumps more often now than it was in 10.10.2. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but what I'm kind of hypothesizing is that the speed bump logic was causing a lot of false slowdowns in previous builds, and they may have removed or reduced the threshold to get better overall performance until they could train a better model. I haven't seen anything mentioned about this by anyone else on Twitter, talking about Tesla, or on YouTube, but it's just a hunch based on my driving experience, and logically it makes sense. If the car sees what it thinks is a speed bump, it's going to slow down, right? I mean, you don't want to damage the car, you don't want to make it an uncomfortable experience for passengers, so any false positive will cause the car to slow down. So what are some of the things that could cause this? Normal bumps in the road, certain types of crosswalks, certain paint formations or shapes in the road, and then of course legitimate speed bumps. So if they know this was a problem, it makes a lot of sense to tone it down and to try to work on a solution separately rather than delaying new builds for the solution. So basically, I'm hypothesizing that they've removed or at least lowered the threshold for speed bumps in an effort to reduce false slowdowns and just in general make a better driving experience for users until they can get more data on speed bumps and be able to identify it and not have false positives. Again, just my hypothesis. It's entirely possible that's not the case and that, I just haven't seen as many speed bumps, but it's really feeling like they've toned it down largely for the reason of false slowdowns. Alright, second piece of 10.11.2, driving smoothness. I have found it to be significantly better than previous builds. Acceleration and braking are far more natural than they used to be. Most turns are smoother and more confident. I definitely have some cases still where both rights and lefts, unprotected or protected, don't make very good turns. That's going to be the case for a while until they've really nailed everything down, but in general I've found that they're significantly more natural. Most turns are smoother and more confident. While there is some wheel jerk, I tend to find that the car is more confident and knows when to go. Obviously, there are still cases where I hit the brake and disengage, but for the most part, it's significantly less than previous builds. I'm not having to use the accelerator as often, or if I do use the accelerator, it's less of an issue with the car doing something wrong and more me saying like, I need to speed up with the flow of traffic, or there's someone tailing me and I want to just go a little bit faster. And lastly, the car definitely still brakes more frequently than it needs to, but in most cases, and I've said this in previous videos, I'd rather the car err towards safety rather than speed. So in pretty much all cases, I would much prefer the car is actually safe and not gonna run into something than go faster for the sake of time. Third point, and I think this is for me the largest piece that they could fix. Obviously they're still working on it and improvements need to be made, but this piece, if they can nail it down, will be the biggest game changer, and that's navigation. For me, lane choosing is still pretty questionable. Frequently I'm finding that the car is getting into the wrong lane before a turn, so it quickly needs to get over, or uses the blinkers a lot and will change lanes for the route and then realize it has to get back into the correct lane. So I don't know exactly how they're going to solve that, but it's definitely going to make things a lot smoother. And like I said, most of my FSD qualms are related to this. But once they do figure this out, the car is going to be incredibly good at driving. It's going to be making the correct decisions very frequently. It's going to be able to get you from point A to B with very few disengagements and interventions. Alright, so this next piece is related to high traffic and complicated scenarios. FSD still performs significantly better when there are fewer obstacles, pedestrians, cars, bikes, than when there are a lot. And in the same vein, FSD doesn't perform as well in rush hour, I've found. This will definitely take time. It requires improving the efficiency of their models and helping the car better understand what's important information to take in and use when making decisions. The car likely absorbs and uses far more data than is necessary at the moment, and given more time and effort to optimize this and help the models understand noise versus important information. Once they're able to do that, it's really going to make for a better driving experience, but right now they're just trying to have the car perceive the world as clearly as possible, and from there, I'm guessing they're going to narrow down on what's actually important. But that, again, takes time. There's a lot of work here. Doing all of this is difficult, to say the very least. If I were trying to design something like this, I would have no idea where to even begin. So it's incredible that they've even gotten to the point where they are, but there's definitely a lot of work to be done to reduce noise and help the car better understand what the important information is in particular scenarios and then act on that. And the last piece I wanted to mention about 10.11.2 was just passenger happiness. Overall, every passenger I've had in the car since having 10.11.2 has enjoyed the experience much more than previous versions. They say it feels safer, feels more confident, it's a much smoother driving experience, and they say that if they weren't paying attention, it would be hard to know if the human is driving or the car is driving. And that's just a huge testament to how well FSD is performing in general, when you literally can't tell the difference between a good human driver and AI. It's super exciting. Can't wait to see what else comes out of FSD in the next, 6 months to 5 years. I really do think they're going to make huge strides and improvements, and it'll be really cool when it's released to everyone who has FSD, because that means tons more drivers on the road, tons more data, and also very likely a higher take rate because it's going to be an actual product that people can use. So super exciting times for Tesla and the AI team. Really can't wait to see what they do. To recap, 10.11.2 for me is significantly better than previous builds. It feels safer, more confident, and perceives the world better than ever. It's still not perfect, and there's a lot of room to grow, but I'm confident the team can get there sooner rather than later. I'd be very curious to know if there was a change in speed bump logic from 10.10.2 to 10.11.2. If anyone knows about that, please leave a comment below. Also, once the car always starts picking the correct lane to be in, FSD will be really incredible. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.